and well, let me introduce you. This is Ruben. Worked with us at Gamestop in, what was the year?
2008, yeah.
And he was a seasonal hire, but he stayed on afterwards as part-time.
I was there for about 5 years. And
Ruben now, I'll just bring this up so we can get it out of the way. Ruben streams on Twitch, and you post to Twitch, and was it?
I just post to Twitch, mainly YouTube. I try to just do every once in a while, but mainly it's Twitch. It's twitch.tv /Sir Lancer TV.
And here's his little Twitch logo.
Yeah.
Did someone make that for you?
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine from Montreal over there in Canada made it. Yeah, so,
Canada.
Yeah, Canada. Yeah.
At the bottom of your account, they used to be able to put like little notes tabs, and so we would leave funny stuff, like such and such is a terrible, or such and such guy smells, or so and so whatever, and
I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah, you can totally do that. Wow. And I think it's tied to the store that you're at, though. Oh, okay. I don't think you can. I don't think it'll show up in Greenwood or something, or like a separate store.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. But before I was gone, I had put a bunch of notes in there on myself, and I remember cracking up. We would always laugh about random stuff. So every time that I go in there and they bring up my information, all that stuff's at the bottom, and they're just like, "What the fuck is it?"
One of the upsides to GameStop, I'm gonna go off the track a little bit here, but for a while GameStop used to have a big contract with Starbucks, and so the Starbucks contract that they had, it lasted for 5-6 years, and we were on the remaining finales of it, but it was 50 to 70% off almost all the items of Starbucks.
What the hell?
And a lot of people didn't know that while working there.
I didn't know
that. So me and another coworker of ours, Aldo, he's been on the show already with you.
Yeah.
We would always go to Barnes & Noble, and all they asked from you was your check stub, your pay stub.
Well, that probably has to do with Barnes & Noble then.
No, it was a Starbucks.
Well, because that the people who owned Barnes & Noble owned GameStop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, the company that owned Barnes & Noble, I guess GameStop and Barnes & Noble were sister companies.
Yeah.
And so, essentially, I did know about the Barnes & Noble discount because we did used to go buy a bunch of books all the time.
Yeah.
It's funny how as soon as we stopped working at GameStop, I stopped buying books.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any issues with customers? You ever get hassled by customers?
Yep. Yes, I did. That's one of the topics I wrote down on my phone. So
what is it? Let me hear.
So one of my favorite ones, basically, customers wanting to use our restrooms. So so I was in there one time. I'm not sure with who was working with me, but literally it was this guy and his kid, and he had another kid with them. So, and he was there, and he was just all of a sudden he y'all got some restrooms there? I'm like, yeah, but it's only for employees only. And then he's like, well, how come we can't use your restrooms? And he started raising his voice, started getting real loud. And then before you know it, everyone's just looking at him, all the customers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sir, there's a Popeye's chicken 15 steps away from here. The restrooms are there for people that are eating and, whatever. They'll just let you use the restroom over there,
Yeah, you don't even gotta ask them. Just
you were talking about the homeless last time there in that area in the last interview with John, right?
Yeah.
About how they would, you would come out, you didn't want to go to the raceway, but I mean, if you could take 15 steps to go to Popeyes, and literally that was one of the main hassles that I had was people wanting to use the restroom. Not only that, but people also had a big deal about the midnight releases kind of thing, about holding the spot in line stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And being real firm on the rules on about what was it, checking in. You got to check in.
Oh, pre-paying.
Pre-ring up. You're pre-ring them up or something like that. I remember doing all that.
We just go out there and be like, hey, have y'all pre-rung? Y'all get in there. Go pay for your items so that way when midnight comes, y'all can just walk in, get your game, and then y'all are free to go.
There was always this one guy,
People
customer
would always
there.
bitch about that.
Yeah, there was always one customer that we had there. at the store. He was always there at the midnight releases. He looked like some UFC fighter dude, man. He always looked like he wanted to beat up everybody. I'm like, hey, calm down on the looks, man. You're like scaring everybody here, you know. But what about you? You had any tough times with
Oh, bitch. There was one time at Greenwood where you remember how at GameStop, and it's funny because I'm certain that every single person knows what the hell we're talking about when we say that you never know where the line is, because there's like the 2 or 3 registers, and you don't know if it's going sideways or if it's going through, you know?
We eventually put tape on our store.
Yeah, we had to tape the line so that people knew where you're supposed to stand. And still people would go the other way.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening back in 2005 was I think it was like a Black Friday. It was my very first Black Friday that I ever worked, 18 years old. I'm helping somebody at the front, they don't have the line situated properly. And I say they don't have the line situated. I mean the customers are. Some people are just walking to the front. Some people are going and standing in line. And it was bad like that even when we had EB games. Nobody knew where to stand. But so basically a guy walks up. He's like, hey, I want to get this. I want to get that. And another customer like comes from the side. And he's not even trying to buy anything. He's just like, hey, man, I don't want to have to wait for this line to die down for me to ask you a question. You know what I mean? Like, that's the implication of him coming up. And he's like, hey, man, do you think y'all have a copy of this used? And I'm like, yeah, 2 seconds, guy. 2 seconds. Let me search. Alt-S, type. You know what I mean? Like, you're done. And the other dude got so bent out of shape that this guy was trying to cut. And it was just... I don't know, man. Like, I don't remember exactly what was said. But basically, the guy gets irate, and he's like, you get the fuck out of here. You don't get in front of me. I was next in line, And like, I'm standing there, and I'm just like, what? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I think Art had a funny story where the guy was like, put the change in my hand. But there was plenty of stories like that where people would get offended.
Oh, yeah. There was an old man with me where... He made me count out every single bit, like an X amount of times in his hand.
I'll be dead serious. When some shit like that would happen and someone would be like, you need to hand me the receipt. I'll be like, it's on the counter. Like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like you think you're somebody because you come in here, you demand. But you see, that's what I'm talking about. Is it's all about like you putting off an air like if you tolerate it. And you don't have to tolerate stuff like that. That's disrespectful from one human to another.
It's all about having mutual respect.
Yeah, and so you treat people with respect, you do everything proper, you do everything by the book, and you protect yourself. That's literally why I tell everybody, protect yourself. If you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, you never give anybody ammo. And if you don't give anybody ammo, they can't use it against you. And so when they do something dumb and they get mad just because they're mad and they want to take it out on somebody, if you did everything by the book, you're protected and you can talk shit in your own way. You got to be clever about it.
Use the wordings.
Yeah, like when people would get mad, like well, why do you have a game case on the floor if you don't have a disc back here? And we were like, and I just look at him. I look at him. I tell him, there's display boxes, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes mistakes are made. And I'm just staring at him like, okay, that's the answer that you wanted to hear. You asked me why something happened. I gave you your answer, and now you don't like your answer, so you're going to be bitchy about it.
I liked where they played that game where they played the stupid game where they would grab a game from the wall and they would throw it inside the bin where the $5 games were. They were about like, hey, I found this game in there. It's going to have to be sold to me at this price.
No.
And then they were like, no. That's a good one. That's a good one. A lot of people would do that. They would try to throw the games inside the $5. I forgot about those. Sometimes the DM, the DM, the district manager, would roll on by on some of those days and physically watch our ASM or SM there in the back doing inventory by the razor blades and cutting the wires, cutting the discs.
The rule was So the rule was like games, controllers, like physical merchandise that could be sold, they had to destroy.
I hated that. I hated that.
I hated it too. Like you could go like to the dumpster and grab like the controllers and keep them.
Try to rewire them.
And try to rewire and do all that. That would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like the one that always bothered me was the games. Like they would take, perfect brand new discs and just stab them with a screwdriver and break them.
Yep.
And that was always hard. But they never did that with the strategy guides.
Hell yeah. That's what I was going to say. They left them sealed. They left them sealed and they would like big old stacks like that.
Like, and they would penny out so much, like those collector edition strategy guides. I picked up a Red Dead Redemption strategy guide, the hardcover after Undead Nightmare came out, and they put out that real thick hardcover. I picked that up for free.
Me too. I have that in my house.
Yeah, because it just straight up got pennied out. I don't have it anymore. I think I sold it.
I have mine in the garage, and it's
I
still
need another one. You should sell it to me.
Yay. Yeah, they did that too with a lot of other ones. One of the other ones was a good one to get lots of that you could sell for a lot of money, which was a Skyrim one.
Oh,
they pennied out a lot of the Skyrim ones, and those came along with a lot of downloadable content.
See, back then I was a little bit honorable. I would never have sold those.
Oh, no, me either. Yeah. I would end up giving them to people that actually gave a crap about the game.
Because there was a lot of unscrupulous GameStop employees, and y'all know who you are, who would take that stuff and go trade them in like at half price or some place that takes books.
That's true.
And they would only get like 50 cents, maybe $1 for them. So it's like,
come on.
It's like, man, you really kind of shitting on people, because the truth is sometimes we would keep all those books like up in the front, like just there in the front, and like at night, we're about to take off and I'm like, oh shit, there's those books. I did need a Street Fighter 4 strategy guide.
Yeah.
I did need a Metal Gear Solid 4 strategy guide. But customers would come in and we'd be like, hey dude, you big fan of such and such, hey, take this. Here's a strategy guide for Wet for the PS3, I love when they would correct us about games. Like, we weren't, each individual could be an expert on something, right? But people would come in and want to argue. Like, I remember, okay, here you go. Customer came in and we're playing Street Fighter. Or no, we were talking Street Fighter. And he says something about, oh, who do you use in Street Fighter? And I was like, I bounce between, Ryu, Ken. At the time, I think it was just Ryu, Ken, and I don't even remember if I ever used anyone else. But I said something, and he said, oh, he plays online, whatever. And I was like, oh, you run into a lot of Sagats, because at that time there was a lot of Sagats like online, and they were like, particularly good.
Muay Thai fighter.
And the guy goes, if I run into a bad matchup, I just deal with it. And I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. Oh, you piece of shit. I was so pissed off because I'm like, dude, we're having a conversation. I'm not having a like a blowhard brag fest with you. It's literally just, I'm trying to pass my shift and you come in here, want to talk Street Fighter. I want to have a conversation with you. You seem like a cool guy. We're both into Street Fighter. And so I'm like, dude, Sagat is so annoying right now. And then he turns it into, I deal with matchups. And I'm just like, oh, fucking guy, dude. Like, you don't get cred because I think that's what it was they wanted clout. Like, before YouTube and all that got super big,
Twitch and all that,
people got clout off of feeling good about impressing GameStop employees, dude. It's
not
so
only that,
stupid.
but like at the midnight releases, you would hear like a lot of talk like that, or that's right,
I'm really good at Call of Duty.
Well, you gotta remember, we used to host tournaments at ours.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at other people's they did too, but we did tournaments at ours, and then like we would have like certain items, gift cards, or we would do. Like, I don't know, it's just certain, like, giveaway stuff. We would give away some of the extra posters that the store got.
I participated in a few tournaments.
Right. And there were some people in there that would get all bent out of shape when they would lose. Or I remember one dude slammed, like, a controller, threw it on the ground, took off out the store. It's like...
Just make you wonder, like, why?
So I'm going to talk a little positive on GameStop here because,
I thought we've been positive this whole time.
There's a lot of in the past episodes, there's been like a lot of like this and that and downplay.
I think we're pretty balanced.
But I told my wife I'm gonna make sure and tell Caleb this story. But so when I first started working at GameStop when I was 16, like I said, had like some I think everyone has these issues, but like anxiety issues or social anxiety. But I could still talk to people comfortably. Everyone that worked with me, Joseph, Aldo, and I was real. But the thing is, though, nonetheless, it helped me. GameStop helped me kind of get out of that social anxiety problem because you were forced to talk to people. Joseph would push me out there. Yeah. Hey, you need to go talk to the customer and tell them this. And I would have a hard time physically,
don't care
mentally.
If you don't like it, you gotta do
exactly, but it helped.
Yeah.
It helped. So if you have problems talking to people, confronting people, you're at the register with those folks and they're like this close to you. And even when they can't hear you, they still get right in your face. Yeah. So, and I would go in there sweating bullets because as a 16-year-old, I wasn't really confident in myself for some reason at that age. But now that I'm older, I could give a crap less about a lot of things anymore now when I feel more confident. But that place, it helped me kind of get comfortable around people.
Yeah. And I mean, hell, you've carried it forward doing the Twitch stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And that's good. I mean, that plays a part in it. You have to go through and break out of your shell. Mm-hmm. And so it feels like you've done that. You've managed to do it. You feel like GameStop helped. I'll be honest, I feel the same way. Like when I first started there, I was pretty timid. Like I was, well, hey, you guys want to pre-order games? This sounds so stupid. And it's like, just like with the show, like, I don't know how many times you're going to hear me whenever I say, if y'all guys like what you heard in the episode, make sure you let us know in the comments and subscribe and, ring that notification bell. That shit still feels weird to me.
Oh, yeah.
But I know that as time goes on, it's going to feel natural. It's going to feel okay. It feels weird because it feels forced. But at the same time, even on this, we are essentially selling a product, and the product is us.
One of my favorite things to do, all of a sudden I was thinking about it in my head, but talking about pre-orders, was sometimes whenever, I think it was I was still working there, but Aldo taught me this trick, but say you're curious about something, if it was in stock at your store, like at Cal Island or Greenwood, for instance, and it was past working hours, it wasn't the end of the world. All you had to do was call up the GameStop in Hawaii. Yeah. You would call the GameStop in Hawaii, and you would tell them your situation, tell them you need to know immediately or whatever, because you were going to go straight in the morning, and they would literally be able to look at your store's inventory all over here in Cal Island or in Greenwood, and all the way over there in Hawaii, and they would be laughing because they would be like, how do you know how to do all this? Like, how do you know that we could do this? Oh, because we work at this set store and whatever. And it was funny because if you needed to know right away, it was available.
The trick for the ordering stuff. Do you remember how we used to place orders from other GameStops and have them ship it to us?
Wait. Oh, yeah, I used to have to be, I was like the messenger too. I would have to go take the game.
No. I'm talking other states.
Oh, okay.
So they gave us the option at one point that we could, if we needed product from another store, we could call that store and ask them hey, I got a dude who's really looking for this. You've got it. You're the closest store to me. Can you ship it to me? And they could. They didn't. I don't think they had to, but they could. And so basically they did away with that because we were taking advantage of that shit. I would have them send shit from Vegas, and I would call that store all the time, dude, because they had a Big Boss PSP.
Oh, really?
When the Big Boss pack came out.
Is that for a Metal Gear?
Yeah.
Wow.
For Peace Walker. And it came in that special thing, and they had marked them down to it was 200 or something.
No way.
And me and Aldo were both trying to get our hands on the original.
Right. I do remember them being allowed to ship. Because I was flashing back in my head. Okay.
Remember the original PSP value pack? Back in 2005 when the PSP came out, it came out in a value pack that came with a bunch of accessories for like $50 to $100 more,
It was
right?
like a super blue box, I remember.
No, it was like a white
Or the
box.
white
I think I still have that box sitting around somewhere. It was like a white box, had a big PSP on it, and then they came out. Oh, the blue ones were like much later.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, the Big Boss PSP and the PSP Value Pack, like this store had both, and so I was like, "Hey, Aldo, let's try and get this dude to send us one," because they were marked like down to like, they were really cheap at the time. So we call up that store in Vegas. Hey, it says here in my system y'all have a Big Boss PSP, a sealed Big Boss PSP new, and they were like, I see it here. It says we have one, but I have no idea where that is. And we called them for like a year, dude. Like for like the whole year, we were hassling this store. And we were just like, yeah, can you send me that? Hey, can you send me that? And I think they ended up complaining to their DM that we were calling. And then that DM let our DM know.
No way.
And so it was like, hey, back off,
Wow.
Like, I don't get their reasoning. Because what they told us was, well, if y'all to get that, then that's money coming out of their store. And I'm like, okay, I understand. But it's not selling at their store. Why can't I order this shit on the GameStop website and y'all have one over here at this store? Y'all sell it to me. If y'all don't have them in the warehouse, they say they have them sitting there in their damn inventory. Someone is basically what it amounts to is some piece of shit in Vegas was at a GameStop, was stashing it and was gonna buy it themselves or just didn't want to ship it. And like, kiss my ass. Like I don't care how they felt because they weren't selling it there, and that's money. Hell, ship it to us. I'll buy it in a second so I can have two.
Yeah, and I thought that's what you were talking about like the shipping process, because I thought you were talking about the local process, because they would do that a lot.
Just
like,
run games.
Yeah, they would run games. Yeah, they would say like, hey Ruben, you got to take such and such game to the store over here. And I remember one time I had to go to the mall. I had to go to Greenwood one time, and then they would wrap it up in the plastic bag with the yellow tape on it for set name, this and that.
There was, because you needed the printed out sheet to let it know the inventory transfer. Yeah, you needed the inventory transfer. Do you remember when we would call other stores and cancel pre-orders and put it on a gift card and then read the gift card number to the other store, so that way, or essentially you could call another store for a customer who was in front of you, cancel a pre-order at their store, have that employee put it on a gift card, give you the gift card numbers so you can put it in on your side, and you would be able to essentially cancel from another store. But I'm pretty sure they got rid of that. I'm pretty sure they don't do that as often anymore because that's a dick move.
Yeah, that is, because then they lose out on that deal over there.
They lose that hurts numbers like terribly bad. But dude, let's wrap it up because I'm pretty sure we got over like 40 minutes.
Yeah, we're at 57.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the whole outro bit again, so that way.
No worries.
Y'all tune in. We have a few more. I have a few more GameStop episodes lined up after this. But
with some other people. Anybody
out there, you work for GameStop, message us, leave a comment, let us know, and I'm down to talk. I'd like to talk to people because I interviewed John. We've been doing this show for so long. I never worked with John.
No, that's what you're saying right in the last
That was like
video.
the first time that I had ever interviewed somebody that I straight up didn't work with at all. And so it felt a little strange because, we don't have the rapport already there. But at the same time, like, we all worked for GameStop. We know what it's like.
Yeah, and I remember before you came to the store there at Cal Allen, there was already talk like you were going to come over. And I'm like, who's this Caleb? I'm like, who's Caleb? They're like, oh, you're going to find out. That's exactly what they said. They're like, you're going to find out who Caleb is. They're like, he's from the Greenwood store. I'm like, the Greenwood store. That's like literally everyone's impression. Like, as soon as you hear like about the Greenwood, the Greenwood store. So So he got it made over here in Cal Island. He's gonna have it made in the shade.
We had to try harder at Greenwood. That is true.
Y'all did. Y'all put in the numbers. Y'all put in the work.
Yeah. Everybody, y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all want to hear anything? Y'all have specific questions? Let us know in the comments. Message me on Facebook, Instagram. Ring the notification bell. Y'all need to know when our shorts come out, because I don't want it to get drowned out. We got 8,000 on one and like 4,000 on another, and we were like, we did it. We're big time. Mr. Beast, watch out.
Mr. Beast, watch out.
We're coming.